This is Tom Gretsch from the Queens Chamber of Commerce. We're very excited about round 2 of the PPP Update program presented by our friends and the hardworking folks at the U.S. Small Business Administration. We're very, very pleased to have Miss Man-Li Lin, the Economic Development Specialist for the SBA, do these presentations. You know, we got to meet her some months ago during the first round of this, and frankly, the folks at the SBA took some lumps for the actual release of funds. But I will tell you, to their credit, they are some of the hardest working civil servants and public servants I've ever met in my life. I will tell you this much. Over the course of 14 days back in April, they processed more applications and had more activity than in the previous 14 years. Just put that in perspective. We've all recovered very well. The banks are all in a good spot right now, and the Chamber is very, very excited about presenting this program today and having Man-Li tell us all about the current program and how you can maybe more quickly and more effortlessly get the funds that you need to keep your small business growing. As the Queens Chamber of Commerce enters our 110th year of existence, we are truly honored to partner with the U.S. SBA and especially our friend, Miss Man-Li Lin. Man-Li, it's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, I'd like to share I cannot start screen share. Okay. Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this webinar. Have a lot of new information with you. So today, actually, I will mainly talk about first drop PPP loan application and second drop PPP loan application. So if you're first time or the second time applying for PPP, this is the updated information. Actually, I just update something this morning, okay? So this is information from this morning news release. So already SBA already have the forgiveness more than 1.1 million PPP loan for over $100 billion. So if you haven't applied for the forgiveness, actually, I think you should get ready. And if your loan amount is of 150,000 or less, you can wait for the new form, okay? Wait for the new form, maybe next week will come out. Otherwise, if you got loan more than $150,000, please apply for the forgiveness because I think that's better for you to apply for the second drop PPP loan. And also, you know, because all the lenders will be very busy from next week. So should apply, right now because your lenders will have 60 days to submit to SBA. So I have some webinars to teach you how to fill out your forgiveness form. So this one is a new news too. Okay, so on Monday, January 11th, actually, the SBA already opened the second round and first drop and second drops application, but only those community financial institution. Okay, so actually on this Friday, January 15th, actually we'll have more than 5,000 other lenders actually will start submitting to SBA. And next Tuesday, January 15th, actually all the lenders will be open, open to all the lenders. So actually you should definitely contact your lenders now. Also, the other good news is SBA they already stopped deducting idle advance. Okay, so before last week, actually, if you receive your idle advance when you apply for the forgiveness, actually SBA has to deduct the idle advance amount from your forgiveness amount. That regulation is eliminated. So now stop doing that. So just wait for your lender new notice to you. So you can borrow both PPP and idle, okay? Especially now during the uncertainty time. If you are not sure if you need the money, you should apply for idle too, because even when your application is approved, you don't have to accept it. So apply anything that eligible right now. This is the website you can apply. And today I will talk about the PPP. So PPP loan today I will talk about first is the first drop, means you didn't apply the first PPP loan. There are two links, okay? There are two websites actually you can find the lender. So SBA also have a lender match for you. So you answer those questions, we will connect you to the lenders. About PPP, the interest rate is 1%. So means if you didn't spend the money on the right place, right now the regulation is you have to spend the PPP loan proceeds more than 60% on the payroll cost, then 40% for non-payroll cost. Then usually you will get 100% forgiven. If there is other balance you didn't comply with the regulation, then become the loan, but interest rate only 1%. So I encourage you learn how to get 100% forgiveness. The maturity time will be 5 years, and this is 100% guaranteed by SBA. So there's no collateral, no personal guarantee, and no fee from SBA or your lender. Okay, so the loan payment will be deferred. Okay, if you apply for the forgiveness, then your lender will submit to SBA. SBA will make the final decision, remit the amount to your lender. So that's the day that you have to start the repayment if there is balance. Okay, if borrowers does not apply for forgiveness, then have to start the payment 10 months after the last day of the cover period. And the other change is the first PPP, actually, you only can choose between 8 and 24 for your cover period. Now you can choose between 8 and 24. You can choose any numbers between 8 and 24 to be your cover period. So that's a good news. Now we're talking about the first drop loans. Okay, so the use very important things for you, to get 100% of forgiveness. So you need to know how you can use the PPP loan. So you can cover to pay your payroll, okay, including the benefit. We will go to the detail later. The second one is non-payroll cost. Originally, the first PPP, you only can cover mortgage interest, your rent, utility. Now they add 4 different extra costs. First, if you buy the PPE for your workers, work protection cost can be counted. Uninsured property damage cost. Okay, so if due to the looting or vandalism, during 2020, your property was damaged, those costs can be included. And the third one is certain supplier cost. So actually some parish food, those can be made before or during the life of the loan, actually, but damage, so you have the cost to your contract or purchaser. The last one is expenses for operation. You need a new software or cloud computing or other human resources and accounting needs. Actually, those can be covered in your non-payroll cost. But non-payroll cost only can go up to 40% of your loan proceeds. Okay, so that's how you can get 100% of the forgiveness. Now, for the forgiveness term, you can choose between 8 and 24, any numbers for your cover period. Here, because this Economic Aid Act actually changed a lot of things. So actually, maybe some of your first pay period, first PPP loan can change that. Okay, the biggest one is you can definitely make sure you can use up the proceed more than 60%. How to, who can apply? Okay, the first, you are a small business. Make sure that actually you are a small business, have fewer than 500 employees. Also, including nonprofit organization, veteran organization, tribal concerns, and self-employed individuals, sole proprietorship, and independent contractors. So the second one is if you meet SBA's size standard or alternative size standard, less than 500 employees, actually in certain industry, actually, I will explain that later. The third one is if your next code begin with 72, that's for those hotels, restaurants, actually, less than 500 employees, and at each of your location. Okay, if you are a franchise. The next one, if you're a news organizations, actually fewer than 500 employees. And good news, these times actually have the housing cooperative and 501c6 organization, and the destination marketing organizations actually less than 300 employees. These are the new groups that actually join us this time. So some situations actually, some borrowers can reapply and the loan request for loan increase. If the borrowers, okay, for the first PPP loan, if not receive loan forgiveness, actually before December 27, the president signed a new act. So about the new apply and those requests for modification, actually, we will not release those information next week, and we'll start from January 24th. The next situation, the next one important is these programs actually will end on March 31st. Okay, so start from January 11 to March 31st. If you plan to apply, you have to apply before that. At the bottom, you can see the link. That's the lenders list. So you can find a lenders, because everybody right now is applying online. So you don't have to find the lenders in New York. You can find nationwide. This is the SBA's this time want to make sure the small business actually can really get assistance. So have the $15 billion set aside for the community, lower or moderate income neighborhood. If you have fewer than 10 employees or the loan amount is less than $250,000, actually the community like CDFI or MDIs, actually they can help you. Okay, the first things you have to make sure you are a small business, meet the requirement definition that SBA. So there is a SBA's website for you. You can visit there to make sure, depends on your industry. Okay, this is the documents actually that you can submit. I won't go through all of them. For nonprofit organizations, you have the Form 990. Sole proprietor, you should have 1090, the 1040 Schedule C. Okay, and seasonal employers, you should document those. The periods actually is between 2019 February 15 to June 30th. That's your how you calculate your annual your revenue. Now we are we're going to go through the form. Okay, so make sure on the top the form is revised January 8th, 2021, because they use the same form 2483. They didn't change the name, but there is an old form, okay, and a new form. So please make sure you got the first one, you got the correct one. But most of the lenders actually they have the form on their website, so you don't have to worry about that. We will go through this. The first item, you have to choose your business structure. Sole proprietor, partnership, or C, corporation, S corporation, LLC, independent contractor, self-employed individual, and three nonprofit organizations, 501c3, 6, and 19, housing cooperative and tribal business or other. The second item is your business information, include, so everybody should fill in the information match, okay, matching to your IRS tax form. So that's official information we need. Your business legal name, your business address, your DBA or trade name if applicable. Year of establishment, okay, so if you are a self-employed individual or independent contractor, you can enter not available. NA, your next code, you can find that on your tax form, your employee's number, okay, the size standard. You can choose the one that fit your business. And business tax ID number or your social security number, phone number, contact person, and email address. The important things here, the first thing you have to calculate your average monthly payroll. I will explain that actually at the next slide. Okay, average monthly payroll, and then you times 2.5. The PPP loan actually is to give you 2.5 months of your average monthly payroll. Okay, so times 2.5. If you receive idle before April 3rd, 2020, you should add that number here because the idle interest rate is 3.75. And this PPP interest rate is only 1%. So actually, they help you refinance your idle loan. The next question is a number of your employees. So actually it's a head count, okay, including part-time, full-time, all the employees number. And then the purpose of the loan. So you just select all those items that you think you need the PPP loan money for. Okay, now if you have any owners own more than 20% or more of the business, you have to provide their information, name, title, percentage of ownership, and their tax ID or social security number, and their address. So now we will talk about how to calculate that. So you can use the payroll for 2019 or 2020. So I think most business make more revenue in 2019. So you can use the 2019's information. If you are a seasonal business, then you have to choose between 2019 February 15 and June 30th. If you are a new business, then you can use 2020 between January 1st to February 29. Okay. So now how do you calculate the average monthly payroll to fill in the form? So previous slide, you get your payroll total for 2019 or 2020, then you minus, okay, minus any employees, all the employees, their annual salary more than 100K. Okay, you have to reduce the extra money because the maximum you can calculate is 100K. Okay, then you divide by 12. That will be your average monthly payroll. If you didn't open for the whole year, then you have to divide by different number. Now, how do you calculate your loan request for the form? So you use the number, okay, monthly payroll, average payroll times 2.5, okay. Then you can add, I already mentioned that for refinance your idle's loan. So you add that amount if you receive that before April 3rd. That will be your loan request amount. If you are a sole proprietor or independent contractor, including your payroll cost, including wages, commissions, income, or net earning from self-employee, but also it's maximum up to $100,000 for the annual, okay, for the annual basis. Some I would like to mention are not eligible. The second, illegal activities for your business, or the second one, if the household employees actually they don't, like housekeeper or nannies, they don't count your employees, so you cannot include those payments. The third one and fourth one, okay, so they are for any owners own more than 20% and they have any criminal records. Number 5, hedge funds or private equity firms not eligible. Number 6, if they receive illegal gaming revenue, they are not eligible. But of course, their business legal gaming revenue is legal. So number 7, if presently is involved in any bankruptcy is not eligible. So here I just share with you, I won't go to the detail. If you use form 1040 Schedule C, you just, if you are a partner in a partnership, okay. So this is how you calculate if you are a self-employees or individual, okay. Either you have employees or no employees. Now, the second part of the application form, there are 9 questions. So if you answer question 1, 2, 5, 6, you answer yes, then you are not eligible. The first one is if your business actually have government contract or government programs, but is right now, okay, was suspended or debarred, so you are not eligible, or presently involved in any bankruptcy. The second one, any owners in the past 7 years have didn't pay to SBA loan or actually defaulted, okay. The third one, any owner actually own more than 20%, actually have other affiliation, means have other business engaged, that's eligible, but you need to include the information here. Number 4, if you receive the idle loan before April 3rd, you have to provide the information. Number 5 and number 6 are regarding the criminal records, okay? So you should read for any owners own more than 20%. Number 7, actually, when you calculate your payroll cost, only include those employees. Actually, their residence actually is in U.S. Okay, if in foreign countries they cannot be included. Number 8 and number 9, if you are a franchise, you have to provide the information here. The next section is the certification, okay? The certification actually is very important. You have to read through them carefully because that's how you are eligible, okay? So just let's go through that one more time. So if applicable, actually together with your affiliate, means if you engage in other business, actually you are an independent contractor, self-employed individual, or sole proprietor with no employees, or the second one, you are not those housing cooperative or 501c6 organization or destination marketing organization. You have employees, less than 500 employees. And number 3, if you are those housing cooperative 501c6 organization or destination marketing organizations, no more than 300 employees. Okay, so this is the only group that actually cannot more than 300 employees. Others, for all the first drop of PPP is 500 employees. Number 4, if your next code begin with 72, for each of the location cannot have more than 500 employees. Number 5, if you're a news organization, is under the next code 51110 or 5151. Actually, you have to use those numbers. Okay, you cannot have more than 500 employees. And the next one, you are a small business under SBA's standard, size standards regulation. The next one, you will say, I will comply with the civil rights and other limitations in this form. The next one is important, how to use, okay? Only use for business related purpose for the loan proceed, and prohibit using the proceeds for lobbying activities or expenses. If you're a news organization, only use the loan actually for those products or distribute locally focused or emergency information. And the last one, you understand that SBA encourage business to purchase American-made equipment and products. This one, okay, so not engage in any activities that illegal. And the next one is idle. Okay, so idle actually usually designed for you to cover for your operating cost, and the PPP is for the payroll cost. The last one, you authorize SBA to request criminal record information about you, about me. Okay, so now we go to more certification. This is, you have to initial each of them. Okay, the first one is you were in operation on February 15, 2020, and you has not permanently closed. Okay, but if the government's comply with government regulation lockdown, this doesn't count. And eligible self, we already mentioned those individuals, okay, no matter with no employees or had employees. The next one, you really need money, okay, during the current economic uncertainty times. The next one, just confirm that you will use the money actually to retain your workers and maintain payroll. And later, actually, you if you request, actually, you have to submit those documents that you try to keep your employees, and then that's very important information. Okay, loan forgiveness, you cannot use more than 40% for those non-payroll costs. Okay, and you have to have the documents to verify the number of full-time equivalent employees in the future and the payroll information. Okay, so very important that you keep all the documents for at least 6 years. So the last one is you will not and has not received another loan under the PPP. But if you have more than one business, actually you know, they're all independent in different location, you can apply more, for each of them. Okay, but the same business you cannot apply twice. The second one is, those people with their spouse, like a president, vice president, or department head, and or Congress, they cannot get involved, control the interest in this application. The next one is not an issuer of those stock exchange. And finally, you have to certify, all the information is true and accurate. Otherwise, can get penalty and imprisonment. Okay, the last one is the lenders can share your tax information, then you sign and date it. Okay, I will send you this PowerPoint. If I received the registration list. If you look at the left upper corner, have the green color. This is for the first draw. Okay, and then later the slides in the brown color will be second draw. So don't be confused. Okay, don't mix up them. So this is all the instruction. Actually, I already mentioned for you. But if you still have questions here, I think it's important for different here. Okay, this page is page 48, 49 is very important. How to calculate your average monthly payroll and your loan amount. So including seasonal business, okay, have to go to the detail. And the farmers and rangers use Schedule F. Here is if you use 1040 Schedule C, then you use line 31 net profit amount. If you're a partnership, you can use 1065 K1, then reduce some expenses there. Others, I already mentioned all of them for you. Okay. The last one will be the optional form is demographic information. Okay, I have three special slides actually for the 501c6 and the other nonprofit organization that new groups for this turn. For this, the first one is 501c6 does not receive more than 15% of receipt from lobbying, not more than 15% of the activities, are lobbying activities, and then cost of those lobbying activities actually cannot more than $1 million, and have fewer than 300 employees. Okay. The next one is destination marketing organization, same thing. Okay, 15 cannot have more than 15% from lobbying or in the lobbying courses, and cannot have more than 300 employees. Okay. The last one, the section 42 mentioned that actually exclude publicly traded companies from PPP eligibility. And this is for news organizations, okay? If you are one of those qualified, cannot more than 500 employees for each location. Now we are going to talk about the second draw PPP loan. Okay, this is the same as the first draw, exactly the same that how those new items you can include in your non-payroll cost. Okay, this is the important thing, the second paragraph, target eligibility. So who is eligible for the second draw of the PPP loan? Okay, number one, you already received your first PPP loan. Okay, and then the second requirement, you will, or you has used the full amount of your first PPP loan. And for authorized uses, means you use, in the payroll cost and non-payroll cost, the first PPP, okay, you have to. So if you already use all of them, that's good. If you haven't, actually, you have to calculate and see when before you get approval. I think you should use up those forms, use those loan proceed. And then you cannot more than 300 employees. So the second draw of PPP lower. Okay, normally was last time was 500 employees, now lower to 300 employees. They hope that they can really, SBA hope can really help those smaller business. And then the third one, okay, you have to calculate that to make sure that you are eligible. So at least 25% reduction in your gross receipts, means gross revenue or gross income, compare your 2019 and 2020's quarters. I will have a table to explain that later. Okay, so the good news for the business actually in the next code begin with 72. Those are the hotels and restaurants. Everybody else actually only get 2.5 of their average monthly payroll. Means only get 2.5 months. But if your next code begin with 72, actually will be 3.5 times. Okay, and you can choose between 2019 or 2020 your payroll cost. But the maximum of the loan this time is $2 million. Okay, the first PPP can go up to $10 million, but now lower to $2 million. Okay, so how and when to apply? So this is actually start from yesterday and end on March 31st. There are two websites here. You can find the lender. But if you already got, I think you already got the first PPP, you can contact your lenders right away to find out when they will start it. I think most will start on this Friday. The last things I already mentioned that actually if your business fewer than 10 employees or the loans less than $250,000, actually this time SBA set aside like $15 billion for those special groups. We are looking at the form. Okay, so this is a new form called second draw borrower application form. This is the same thing. Okay, the check your business structure and the information of your business, same thing. So self-employee, individual, independent contractor, you should enter not available, or you can fill in the number too, depends on your situation. You will need to have next code. Okay, so now you calculate your average monthly payroll. You can choose between 2019 or 2020 or previous 12 months. Okay, then you times 2.5, except those next code begin with 72. You can times 3.5. Then you choose how many, how were the employees number. Okay, that's head count, including part-time and full-time. And then purpose of the loan, choose all of that apply. Okay, and finally, for the second drop borrower, you need to fill out the first drop BBB SBA loan number. So that's the number. There are two loan number. One is from your lender, one is from SBA. So don't make a mistake. This is SBA's loan number. Otherwise, they won't be able to find it. If you don't know the number, you can ask your lender. They have that number. Okay, this is very, very important. Okay, reduction in gross receipt of at least 25%. So you have to really take your table, took your number, 2019 fourth quarter and 2020 fourth quarter. Okay, so at least one quarter in 2020. You receive compared to the same quarter in 2019 that your gross income is reduced more than 25%. But if your loan amount actually is of 150K or less, you can leave it blank. doesn't mean you don't have to calculate that. Actually, you should calculate that, but you have to provide those information before you apply for the forgiveness or any time that SBA requests. So here, the first one you have to choose 2020 which quarter you reduce more than 25%, and gross receipt, that means the amount, how much, okay? Then your reference quarter means the quarter you want to compare will be the same quarter in 2019. Then the gross receipt. So here, actually, they come up an easier way for everybody. If you were in operating the whole year in 2019, okay, so you have the annual, you already have your annual, the payroll cost, okay, so that's good. So you have to calculate your 2020's annual, the whole year's, the revenue, the gross income. So if it's more than 25% lower, okay, reduction, then means at least one quarter is more than 25%. So you can use that. So if you use the whole year, you can put annual, okay? You can fill in annual here, okay, for 2020 and 2019, okay? Then the next section, ownership, okay? If you have all the owners own more than 20%, you have to provide their information, including their tax ID number or social security number. Okay, this is the situation. I make this table for you to understand how can you calculate. Make sure actually you really have have the 25% deduction, okay? Because later you have to submit the documents. If your loan less than 150K, if your loan amount is more than 150K, you have to submit the document now. Okay, so please look at the top one. The top one, I list here. The green color means those quarters that actually you were in operation. So on the top one, okay, so means you open the whole year in 2019. So in 2020, the yellow color part is which quarter you can use to do the comparison. So you can use you can see 2020. If you have 25% lower in Q1, quarter one, you have to compare with the same quarter in 2019. Okay, so each quarter you just compare with 2019, the same quarter. The second situation, please look at the second table. Actually, that's you only open, okay? You only open after the third quarter and fourth quarter. So only two green colors, okay? So you can use any quarter in 2020 to compare either third quarter or fourth quarter. You can choose which one, okay, that you are qualified. So you can, as long as they 25% lower. So the third situation, if you only opened actually after 2019 quarter four, okay, the fourth quarter you were open, then any quarters in 2020, you see the all yellow color. So any quarter you can choose to compare with that quarter, 2019, the fourth quarter. And finally, if you are a totally new business, okay, you open your business, you start your business in the first quarter of 2020, then you can use any other three quarters, okay, quarter one, quarter two, or third, or fourth, compare with the first quarter. Okay, so this is later actually they describe that, but I think this is clear for you to look at it. Now we look at the second part. Same no, different questions actually. This is only 8 questions. So if you answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that yes, so you won't be eligible. So first one is if any federal department or agency, you work with them as a contractor or any partner, but you were suspended or debarred, or actually you voluntarily excluded from participation, you are not eligible. Or you are, okay, presently involved in any bankruptcy. Okay, the second one is any owner that actually, owe SBA money, currently delinquent, or has defaulted in the past 7 years. The third one is eligible, but you need to include the information. If any owner more than 25% actually have other business or manage other business. Number 4 and 5 actually are the 2 questions related to the criminal background. Okay. 7, so I already mentioned that very important actually when you calculate the payroll cost, actually only include those employees, they resident, okay, they live in US, cannot live in other country. And 8 and 9 are, if you are a franchise, you have to answer the question here. Now we go to the next one, okay? A little bit change, so I will just talk about those changes from the first PPP, okay? The second one, the third one, they tell you the numbers actually changed, okay? First PPP was 500 employees, now lower to 300 employees. And this one, the second one, only used for business related purpose and cannot be in lobbying activities or expenses, okay, cannot work as that. And the last one, so actually authorized, this is the same as the first one. Okay, the following, you need to initial each of them. Okay, so the first one, you are qualified as a small business or nonprofit organization group that we mentioned, has not permanently closed. Okay, and the most important things, you were open. Okay, you were in operation on February 15. I think if you get the first PPP loan, actually you already meet that requirement. Okay, so the last one, okay, this is something new, have to prove that actually you have 25% reduction growth of your gross revenue for at least 1 quarter. Okay, but if your loan amounts are less than $100,000, actually you don't have to apply, you don't have to provide the documents right now, but before you apply for the forgiveness or SBA request, you have to provide those information. Okay, so the first one, okay, so you will use already use the full amount of the loan, first PPP, or you will, okay, you have to prove that before, okay, before the money dispersed to you. So just remember, when your lenders submit your application to SBA approve it, and then the lenders only have 10 days, okay, they have to disperse the money within 10 days. So actually before that, actually you have to use up all your first PPP loan amount. The second one, okay, so you can use those money on the requirement, okay, the rules, 60%, 40 on payroll and 40% for the non-payroll. Okay, and you has not and will not receive another second drop PPP loan. Like I mentioned before, if you have more than one business, you can apply for one for each of them. Okay, but not more than one for the one company. The next one is important. Okay, this is something new. I think everybody heard about Save Our Stages. That's right now the formal name, the act, okay, is a Chartered Venue Operator Grant. If you receive that one, then you cannot apply. That's a grant. So you cannot apply for PPP, not eligible, okay, for PPP. The next one, same thing, okay, those people cannot get involved in the application. And the last one, issuer, you are not an issuer of the stock exchange. Okay, now this is one maybe affect a lot of some business actually in Chinese community. If any, okay, the applicant is not a business for following situation, created in or organized under the laws of the China and Hong Kong, or has significant operation in China or Hong Kong, owns or hold, no matter directly or indirectly, not less than 20% of the economic interest of the business concern, including equity shares or capital or profit interest in a LLC or partnership, or retain as a member of the board of directors of the business, but actually is a resident of the People's Republic of China. So here, actually, I just want to make it clear. This is a People's Republic of China, but like Taiwan is not part of that. Taiwan is public of China, so it's different. Okay, the next one, not required to submit a registration statement. So some agencies, some representative from foreign countries, actually they have to sign the registration statement, so you're not one of those. And finally, okay, not primarily engaged in political or lobbying activities, including research or for engaging in advocacy in areas in like public policy or political strategy. Okay. Next one is actually you have you certify all the information you provide here is true and correct. Okay, and the last one is the lenders can share any tax information with other SBA's department, including the Office of Inspector General. Okay, so on the left upper top, you can see the brown color. This is all instructions, actually, instructions for each of the item. Okay, here I just want to mention the payroll cost. Actually, they added two. Okay, the benefits. Okay, here including group life insurance and disability. Okay, that's including now. This I think here very okay. I think these two slides are very important too. When you calculate your average monthly payroll, they have details about seasonal businesses, okay, and the new business, how you calculate them. And the next slide is for farmers and rangers. Actually, you use Schedule F. And if you use 1040 Schedule C, and the partners use Form 1065K1. So this is all the detailed information, what can be included, what cannot be included. So please come to this instruction if you're one of these categories. Okay. And this one and the next one, next slides actually is the table that I just explained to you. If your loan less than $150,000, you don't have to submit the document now, but you have to make sure actually really have 1 quarter that had more than 25% reduction. So this is the table that actually that I created, just explain this situation. So here, very important too, okay, the slide 83, gross receipt, okay, so you can call gross revenue or gross income, what can be included, okay, they tell you do not include the following. So those information actually you have to make sure you read this, or when you discuss with your accountants or third-party service, actually make sure those numbers not included. Okay. Here have more. Okay, like subcontractor cost reimbursement for purchase a contractor makes at customer's request, investment income and employee-based costs such as the payroll tax cannot be excluded from gross receipt. I think this is important for you too. Okay, so and also those organizations actually your gross receipt have the meaning in your those 6033 of the IRS code of 1986. So I think you have to comply with those definition here. Okay, so this is the same as last time you applied. Also, except now they need your next code and the year of establishment. Also, the next code begins with 72. You times 3.5, not 2.5 anymore. Okay, so here this is to tell you what's the definition of the principal. So when you fill in the information in this form. So I also, okay, so that actually, I know that's the information that actually I will go to the detail with you today, but I also attached here the second drop low intern final rules here. So if you still, I think only 42 pages, okay? Not like the other one have 84 pages. This is only 42 pages. So if you, I think I cover all of the important information, but if you, have some questions that actually you can look into this, all the details information and how they make that decision, okay, here. So the final slides is very important for you. I know my position, I cannot answer the specific questions for you because I didn't see your documents. I cannot answer those questions. So we have our resource partner. SBA has 3 resource partner, SCORE, Small Business Development Center, and Women Business Center. They provide one-on-one counseling assistance for SBA. So please find those near you or anybody actually, because right now it's online. So make appointment with them. They can help you with the application, or you have any questions about your business like marketing, other financing. SBA have other financing programs. So I hope that actually you can find out if you need more money, you should plan, okay? You should plan to apply for more SBA guarantee loan. If you have questions about EIDL, please contact the SBA Disaster Center directly. And if you have question about PPP, of course, you can ask our resource partner to fill out the form. But actually, the best person for you to talk to is your lender, your PPP lender, because we know some of the lender, we have more than 5,000 lenders this time. And some of the lenders, they have a little bit different policy, okay? So the best person you should talk to will be your PPP lender. And all the PPP lender will be opened on next Tuesday, January 19th. Okay, I saw Jacqueline's.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Man-Li, for your extraordinary presentation, and good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Jacqueline Donado. I am a Strategic Program Manager of the Queen's Chamber of Commerce, and we are very proud for today's presentation. I wanted to remind you that we are on Facebook Live, and the video is also uploaded in the Queen's Chamber of Commerce YouTube channel. Follow-up emails will be sent later on from the Queen's Chamber of Commerce. Also, I understand that Man-Li follow up with some of your some of the participants. Um, and I think, Man-Li, we will start with some questions from the participants.
Okay, yeah, I'm reading right
Yes,
now.
and
Okay.
yes, Tasneem Sultana, that is from the Queen's Chamber of Commerce outreach team. She's going to also help you asking some questions live.
Okay. Yeah, I saw the first question. So the payroll expenses cap is 100K. So anything more than 100,000K, you have to reduce those reduce that amount. And the second question from Mira, the second jump disappear. Okay, the second PPP is for 8 weeks or 24 weeks. This is a big change. Okay, so right now it's actually you can choose the cover period between any numbers between 8 and 24 for your cover period. The second, this next question.
I'll read the questions so that everyone can hear about the question.
Oh, okay, right.
Sorry. Will the revised 3.5% calculation for Industry 72 be applied for the first round of PPP?
No, that's only for the second round, second drop of PPP. The restaurant. Actually, first drop for everybody is 2.5.
So next question is, if you have already taken out a PPP loan and have used it up but haven't applied for forgiveness, can you apply for a second PPP loan and then apply for forgiveness for both loans?
Okay, you can apply, but can you apply for both of the forgiveness both? I don't think so, because the deferment time will be different, because if you don't apply for the forgiveness for your first PPP, you have to start the repayments actually 10 months after the last day of your cover period. Okay, so unless you want to pay that money right now.
Next question. If a business owner is applying for the PPP loan for the first time, must they still show that gross recipients went down more than 25%?
No, if the first time, you don't have to.
Do you have to prove your income again? Or if you were given and proved income for first loan, can you just use or apply for same loan amount for second loan?
The same loan amount. Okay, I didn't see the questions. I have to, can you read that question again?
It's Michael Canzer asking, do you have to prove your income again? Or if you were given and proved income for first loan, can you just use or apply for same loan amount for second loan?
Okay, yeah. So if you in operating in 2019, the whole year, you submit your 2019 tax form, you can just use that one.
Okay. Next one is, for the second draw loan gross receipts, do we use total sales dollars per quarter or total GP dollars per quarter? I believe
the gross revenue. Okay.
My first draw of PPP payroll, 60% was finished for 8 weeks, and my utilities 40%. I used it for 24 weeks. I'm using 24 weeks loan forgiveness.
Yeah, if you already use partial 24 weeks, then you should use you have to use 24 weeks.
Another person is saying that their business account is with Chase. Do they have to apply with the business account bank because they got rejected by them twice and they don't have any employees?
Okay, very good question. Actually, you don't have to stay with your first PPP loan lenders. You can apply from the second one, the different one.
Mhm. Which year do we use for the 2.5 months of payroll, 2020 or 2019?
You can choose between 2019 or 2020.
When calculated payroll to multiply by 2.5 on the application, is it just payroll or payroll cost, including medical benefits paid by the employer?
Yes, including the payroll that you pay to your employees and the benefits, all those benefits.
Mhm. For this loan, do you have to have employees?
You don't have to. If you're a self-employed, you don't have to have employee.
What payroll period is used to figure out the average monthly payroll for the second PPP draw?
Depends on when you were in operation. Okay, if you operating in the whole year, then you should use the previous 12 months.
Mhm. For second draw, would the same 100,000 maximum applies, correct? If I use 2019 payroll, should deduct employees making over 100K.
Correct, right. So any employees payroll can the maximum is 100,000 K.
Mhm. Our fiscal year is from January to December, and it's a nonprofit. We haven't filed our taxes form for 2020 yet. What can we provide in lieu of a tax form?
Right, you don't have to file it yet, but you can fill out the form.
Does the 2019 and 2024 quarters gross receipt go by calendar year or our company's fiscal year?
Calendar year.
Also, does the annual gross receipt comparison go by calendar year or each company's fiscal year?
Calendar year.
I have reduced my staff by more than half. We are a restaurant and don't have servers now, but they would normally work. How many employees do I separate in my new application? What I normally have or what I currently have because of the shutdown?
Okay, so depends on who you pay. Okay, so you have to include those you pay them.
Mhm. I received the first round loan. After we used the allocated money, we had to reduce an employee's hours and pay. Can we include her payroll at full time for the second round? Meaning, can I calculate how much I want to borrow based on what we would be paying her at full-time hours? Also, I have 2 employees that were on payroll in 2019 and part of 2020, but no longer working with us. They will be on payroll records, but I shouldn't be counting them in my calculations, correct?
Okay, all this will depends on your payroll list. Okay, so if you see the forgiveness form, actually you have to list all the employees work for you during the cover period, and each of them you have to calculate how much you pay them. So according to those records, we call cash compensation. So you should get I think everybody should have a spreadsheet, keep the record that during your cover period, all the employees work for you, and you have those information, just have those records, how much time they work, how much you pay them, because when you apply for the forgiveness, you need those information.
Mhm. The next question is, when will regular commercial banks start accepting PPP applications?
Next Monday and Tuesday, because Monday is a holiday. So from January 19th.
Is the covered period to be used for forgiveness of draw number 2 going to be in 2021?
The cover period, okay, the cover period, I think the law is still the same. Will count from the day that you receive your loan from your lender, okay? So I think that's in 2021.
Why is the employer's share of payroll taxes and the employee's withholding tax not available for forgiveness? It means that those employees who have fewer exemptions cost the company a greater forgiveness amount.
Why is the employer's share of payroll? Okay, we know you have to ask the lawmakers. Okay, the lawmakers actually we just excuse those the law. Okay, from SBA headquarters or the lawmakers actually depends on the act.
Does the cover period start when the funds are dispersed? If a seasonal restaurant is closed until May, does the 24 weeks begin when the restaurant gets funding, or can this be deferred?
No, the cover period actually comes from the date that you got the money, no matter what.
How do self-employed individuals show proof of payment? Do I write myself a check from my business account to my personal account and then submit bank statement scans of cash checks as proof?
Okay, this question you should ask your lender. Okay, different lenders actually, we know some of the lender ask you to open an account and then you can do that. Okay, but not all the lenders do that, so you have to ask your lender.
If first draw PPP has already processed forgiveness, will the second draw PPP eligible for forgiveness in future?
Yes. Okay. So actually, the PPP, was designed as a grant, but you have to do the right thing and spend the money on comply with the regulation. Then you can get 100% forgiveness. That's why it's very important for you to learn about how to apply for the forgiveness.
I received first PPP and afterwards applied for EIDL loan. I have not spent the EIDL loan yet. Should I return it before applying for second round of PPP to maximize forgiveness?
It's idle. It's nothing to do with the PPP. You can use both of the loan proceeds, okay? Because idle is a SBA disaster loan, and the PPP actually is treat it like a grant. So actually, you can use both programs proceed for your business.
Is idle included in gross receipts?
I think right now they say no. Right.
Can you apply to two different lenders at the same time and then take the PPP loan from the one who responds first and not take a second or duplicate loan from the others?
That's the problem for the first round. A lot of people, they applied, from different lenders. And then, the system actually show all the loan or normally if the first one got in and others cannot get in, but sometimes the systems or the lenders have problems. So try to avoid that.
When calculating average monthly payroll for loan amount, are there any limitations or caps for an owner or officer, or is everyone capped at $100,000? Again, can an owner and an officer include MTA tax, health insurance premium, and retirement contributions above the 100,000 cap?
MTA tax, actually, I don't know. I only know actually they talk about, I think you're talking about the transportation utility tax. I saw the regulation, they only mention like local government, okay? They have the transportation utility tax. I don't know MTA tax is counted in that or not, okay? But health insurance premiums and retirement contribution, yes, those are actually, you can include them in your payroll cost. And yes, everyone is capped at 100K.
For full forgiveness, do you have to maintain the same FTEs that you had at the start of the covered period or some other earlier period, such as the chosen payroll year used to calculate your loan amount?
Okay, FTE actually, I hope you can come to my forgiveness application webinar. How do you calculate the FTE? And also there are 5 FTE reduction exception. So actually, if you meet those 5 situations, and also 2 of them we say safe harbor, then you won't be, your forgiveness amount won't be affected.
For the payroll, does it include the payment to 1099 contractor?
No, okay. So when you apply, actually, you can count the independent contractor, actually, they are not your employees. So you cannot include the payments of the independent contractor. And also, independent contractor, actually, they can apply their own PPP.
Since I do not currently have servers on payroll because of the shutdown, but I normally would, do I include them? They will be, I think you answered this already. I'm on first draw. We have to retain 75% of employees for forgiveness.
Right now, they lower to 60%.
If I have a quarter loss of 24.5%, will that round up to 25% to qualify for the second PPP loan?
I don't think so.
I'm a startup business for the past 3 years. Is there any support for someone like me?
If you are a startup business, I don't know what you mean. You already start for 3 years. Depends on when you register your business.
I work in a travel agency and the business was closed for all these months since March 14. We got PPP loan $25,000 and we couldn't use it for payroll because the business stopped and we didn't have a cash flow. We used this money for business expenses. Are we eligible for the second PPP loan?
You have to use the money as the rules for the first PPP. Okay, means 60% for payroll.
Is the automatic audit on loans exceeding $2 million for loan 1 or 2, or the combined amount given on PPP loans 1 and 2?
No, I think the first one, okay, the first PPP over 2 million, actually there will send you the questionnaire.
For round 1, our company paid employee benefits, HSA, IRA, taxes, etc., and are approved expense for forgiveness.
Company pay employees benefits, IRA taxes. Okay, if that's in your payroll, your IRS payroll, yes. Depends on your payroll, okay? IRS tax return, right?
If our company annual income tax return is fiscal year, but 25% sales is calendar year, will SBA accept our income tax return?
You have to ask your lender.
Does payroll expense include tax withholding, for example, federal, state, local, in addition to office rent expense to calculate the 40% figure?
No, payroll expenses actually is 60%. Okay, so including those paid to the local government, like unemployment benefit.
I got first round of PPP loan and will apply for second round. Do I have to have submitted my forgiveness paperwork before applying for second round? And if not, do I have to provide documents to show I used the money from the first round before applying for second round?
Right. So actually, right now it's not. There is no form that you can submit for that. But actually, that's what I mentioned before. You should calculate. If you don't apply for the forgiveness, then you have to start the repayment 10 months after the last day of your cover period. So I encourage you, you should start calculating or fill out the form and make sure actually you can use up you can use up those monies. Otherwise, actually, you will, maybe in the future, they will say you are not eligible. Okay, so that's the questions.
Yes,
Okay.
actually, we have a very long list of questions.
I understand, but I just say, because everybody's job duty, and our resource partner, their jobs is to provide one-on-one counseling for us. So please utilize their services, okay? And they would talk to you, they give you advice, even if you have marketing problems or other financing problems. So don't just focus on the PPP questions. You should get a chance to talk to the business advisors for your futures, for the business future. Okay.
Correct. And also, I would like to mention that in our Queens Chamber of Commerce website, we have a list of upcoming webinars with more in detailed information about loans and grants from SBA and some community financial institutions and business partners. We want to be very respectful of your time, Man-Li. We have probably 3 more questions to ask. Tasneem, I think you can pick the last 3 questions for this session.
I'll address some questions in the chat because if you underestimated PPP number 1 and need to request a modification, do you have to wait for the modification approval, get the funds, and spend the funds before you can apply for PPP number 2?
Okay, this question actually, we got the information yesterday, but only for for the SBA employees and lenders. It's not released to the public yet. So we will talk about that maybe next week. Okay, for borrowers want to reapply or request increase, actually those information, maybe you can you can come to my webinars next week when we are allowed to talk about that.
What is business owner only? What if business owners only want to refinance his EIDL loan received prior to April 3rd, 2020?
What do you mean? What if? Sorry, can you read that question again?
Sorry. What if business owner only wants to refinance his EIDL loan received prior to April 3rd, 2020?
I don't know what you mean only want to. Okay, you can talk to, I think you mean you don't want to apply for the second PPP loan. You just want to refinance. I think that when you have to contact the disaster center to ask them about that. And I saw somebody talk about Citibank. If you have any problems with your bank situation, you have to deal with your PPP lender. Okay, we cannot get involved.
I think that's all the questions we have. So thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Thank you, Man-Li, and we keep in touch for your future presentations. It's a pleasure to have you here, and on behalf of the Queens Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors and our Executive Director and President, Tom Gretsch, I thank you and all the participants for being here today.
Thank you.